What up, Sugar Cubes? I have a new comic review. I'm going to be doing comic reviews a little bit different for a little while. I'm going to be doing arcs and single issues that I think I really like. At least until I'm bored with the system, and then I'll go back to whatever's doing. First off, I want to just say this comic review is brought to you by my comic book I write and grade, Red Knight, with J.C. Grande doing the art. Issue 7 is available, and issue 8 is almost ready. It's coming out in October-ish, pretty much. Anyway, hey, comics. I am here to review Steven Universe #1, and this is from Kaboom, and I've been pretty excited about this. For those of you who follow me on Twitter or Tumblr, you may have noticed I've become a little obsessed with Steven Universe. It is a Cartoon Network show. Currently airing weekdays, although the scheduling changes a lot on Cartoon Network lately, so don't quote me when you see this video. So, essentially, if you haven't seen the show, quick explanation is, let's see, the Crystal Gems are alien superheroes. They all have fantastic powers. There's Rose Quartz, Pearl, Garnet, and Amethyst. Well, Rose apparently dies in childbirth with Steven. He inherits her powers, her gem that gives her all her powers, and the Crystal Gems are left to help raise Steven and help him learn about his powers, and including his dad hanging around, who lives in a van. It's an amazing series. Highly recommend watching the show, and I'm actually planning to do some Doug Walker style vlogs talking about the series very soon, so keep an eye out for those. But right now, I'm here to talk about the comic. The comic is produced by, written by Jeremy Sorcy and illustrated by Coleman Engel. Coleman? No, different guy. Coleman Engel. And there's 3 little short stories. Lars and Sadie one, Steven Universe, and Birthday Bake Off, and I'll get to those in just a moment. The main story is a 14-page story in lovely color, by the way. Essentially, the story is they've just vanquished a monster, and they're about to take its gem back to their lair. So everything's cool. Steven wants to enjoy the beach because it's raining at their hometown. But before they do, the monster starts to reform, and this beautiful-looking designed cloud monster creature, Pearl will not let go. And it's this, I think this issue pretty much centers around Pearl, who just is pretty determined. This thing, like, slams her up against pillars and thrashes her about, and she will not let go until they eventually do conquer the thing. It's a really adorable story. It's really beautiful. I like the art, even though the art style isn't exactly like the art style of the show. It's a little more blocky than the animated style. But that's cool. You know, it doesn't have to match exactly, frankly, as long as it's really attractive. It's a really interesting look here, where it's not too cluttered, and works really well for a comic style. My only complaint about this issue is that we jump kind of right into it with an adventure that doesn't really establish much about the characters themselves or the world of Steven Universe. And if it's really not that problem if you've been watching the show and kind of familiar with the characters, but if you pick this up going, hey, there's this thing I've heard of, let me get an idea, you're going to be a little lost, frankly. Even the backup stories don't really help you much with that. Lars and Sadie are in a one-page little story, which is really cool. The way it's drawn, it's essentially they get lost from coming home, and Lars is certain he knows where he's going. And the art really looks great. The art looks pretty much on point with what the show looks like. Actually, it's one of the creators of the show who did this particular page. Steven Universe. Steven shows you how to make a hot dog bagel, which is awesome, and kind of reminds me of the old days of Super Friends cartoons in the 70s when Aquaman would show you how to do a magic trick or something. I miss this kind of stuff. And then Birthday Bake Off by Jocelyn Fenton. actually I think is my favorite of the stories in this issue. First off, the art in black and white is totally on point. This is exactly what the characters look like in the series. And I think this actually does a little bit better job than the main story about capturing the characters. We even see Greg Universe, Steven's dad, although he's not named in the story. So if you don't know who he is, it's like, hey, who's this weird guy hanging out? But it's kind of fun because the gems do not know how to. The gems are asked to make a birthday cake for Steven, and they're alien superheroes. They have no idea how to bake a cake. So they kind of like sort of compete with each other how to do it, with Garnet coming up with the solution at the end. I could totally go for an all-icing cake. I don't know if anybody out there makes one or has one. You should send one to me. Well, actually don't, because it could be poisoned. I don't know who you are. You're a psycho. I don't know. But this issue is great. For Steven Universe fans, I totally recommend it. I'm going to give it a strong 4 Ram chips, though, because it's not really that... it doesn't do a great job at introducing the characters. I think that's the only real nitpick about the issue. The cover is stunningly beautiful. This might be my favorite cover I've seen of any comic this year. I just think it's beautiful and captures the flavor of the series. I'm looking forward to issue 2, so I'll be reviewing that as well. But yeah, check it out. Steven Universe #1. Push the button, Lindsay.